Good morning, Kasturians, and welcome to video 2 of chapter The French Revolution. In the previous video, we have seen the composition of French society as the nobility, the clergy, and the peasantry. We have also seen the struggle for survival, that is the subsistence crisis, and how the new emerging middle class wanted an end to privileges, which was supported by philosophers like Jean Locke and Jean-Jacques Rousseau. In this video, we will discuss the outbreak of revolution and how France became a constitutional monarchy. So let's start. As you know, the chapter starts with the ascending of Louis XVI to the throne, but at that time the treasure was almost empty, and Louis XVI was not left with any choice instead to increase the taxes, and for this he has to call a meeting of the Estates General. Only the Estates General can pass the proposal for new taxes, and the monarch was having the right to call the meeting only. So the Estates General in fact was a political body in which the representatives of all the three estates, that is the nobility, the clergy, and the peasants, they were sent, and these representatives were having the right to vote. And from each estate only one vote was there, that is in all three votes were to be cast, and Louis XVI called for the assembly meeting on 5th of May 1789 to pass the proposal for new taxes, and the meeting was to be organized in the hall of Versailles. The first and second estates sent 300 representatives each, who were allowed to sit in rows facing each other, but from the third estate some 600 representatives they came, but they were not given any seats or chairs. They were allowed to stand on the two sides behind the members of the two estates. By the time this meeting of the Estates General was called, the peasantry became a new powerful class with the emergence of middle class, and in this the educated and prosperous members were there. Also, the peasants, artisans, and women, they were not allowed to enter in the hall and to attend the meeting. In the Estates General, every vote was there, but only 3 votes in all could be casted. Now, since the number of members of the third estate were more, they all demanded, and above that they were all educated, they all demanded that now the system needs to be changed, and they also said that the voting should be conducted by the assembly as a whole, where each member would have one vote, and it was based on the democratic principle which was forwarded by the philosophers like Rousseau in his book The Social Contract. But when Louis XVI he rejected the proposal, the members of the third estate, all 600 members, they walked out of the assembly, and the representatives of this third estate, they considered themselves as the representatives, the true representatives of the French nation, and that's why on 20th of June, that is just 45 days after the meeting, that is on 5th of May 1789, the meeting was called. They walked out of the meeting demanding one vote for one member, but when their proposal was refused, so on 20th of June, they all assembled in an indoor tennis court in the Versailles, and they declared themselves as the National Assembly, and they swore that until a new constitution for France will be drafted, they will not sit silent. And according to them, the powers of the monarchs should be limited. This is what they wanted in the new constitution. And this oath, since it took place in the tennis court, this oath is also known as the oath of the tennis court in the world history. And this National Assembly was led by Mirabeau and Abbassies, where Mirabeau was a noble, but he was against the privileges being given to the nobility and the clergy, and Abbassies, he was a priest, and he wrote a pamphlet called What is the Third Estate, propagating the people to come and participate in the National Assembly. At the same time, when the drafting of constitution was in progress by the National Assembly, the entire France, due to a bad harvest, was caught in a condition of turmoil. The bakers, they tried to exploit the condition and they hoarded the supplies. Hoarding means they stopped the supplies, they started storing the bread, and ultimately the people, they broke out, and there were clashes between the bakers and the people waiting for the bread in queues for long hours. Ultimately, to restore peace, the monarch Louis XVI, he ordered troops to enter into the city, and when the troops, they entered in the city, the rumors spread that the king has ordered the troops to open fire at the common people. And that's why on 14th of July 1789, that incident of demolition of fortress prison Bastille took place. This was how the revolt started. Also, it was all in the city, but in the villages or the along the countryside, the people, they took this revolt in a different way. They were known to be exploited by the landowners or the serfs, and the rumors, they also faced the same type of rumor that the menor, that is the landowner, he has hired the bands of brigands who will destroy the ripened crops, and caught by the fear, the peasants, they entered into the houses of the manor. They seized the hose and attacked the chetoks. Chetoks means the place or the palace, you can say castle or palace, which in which the king or a nobleman used to live. So they attacked the palaces or castles of the noble people, and they looted their hoarded supplies. They also destroyed all the documents in which the records of the manorial dues were there. Also, at the same time, the subjects of Louis XVI, they started making fronts against Louis XVI, and faced by this, Louis XVI was compelled to recognize the National Assembly, and he agreed that his powers will now be checked by the Constitution. And that's why, as a result, on 4th of August 1789, a decree was passed that abolished the feudal system, and the clergy people, the members of the clergy, they were also forced to give up their privileges, whatever they were enjoying. And since tithe was the tax being collected by the clergy, and now the clergy were no longer having any privileges, so this tithe was abolished, and all the land which was there with the church, it was all confiscated and it became a public property. And it resulted in acquisition of assets, large assets, by the National Assembly. The National Assembly from 20th of July 1789, they started preparing the constitution, and by the end of 1791, that is almost 2 years, they finally finished and drafted the constitution, in which the powers of the monarch were limited, and instead of concentrating all the power in the hands of monarch, three different independent institutions were framed, that is the legislature, the executive and judiciary. And this is what is the basic principle of Indian constitution too. This principle is taken from the French constitution. And when these three different institutions were recognized by the National Assembly, this made France a constitutional monarchy. That is, a type of government in which monarch is there, but he is bound to follow the constitution, and every citizen, every person who is considered a citizen of the country is bound to follow the constitution. But although the constitution was framed, but the right to vote was not given to every person. Only the men above 25 years of age who were paying taxes equal to 3 days wages of a laborer were given the status of citizens, no, were given the status of active citizens. That is, they can vote directly, they can participate in the government forming process by casting their vote. Apart from this, the remaining men and women were classified as passive citizens, and if they wish to qualify as an elector, that is as a voter, or they wish to qualify themselves as a member of the assembly, they should belong to the highest bracket of taxpayers. Now some salient features of the constitution which was framed by the National Assembly. According to that, the declaration of the rights of men and citizen were there. Rights include the right of life, the freedom of speech, freedom of opinion, equality before law was established and maintained, and these were maintained as a natural and inalienable right. That is, every human being who was born on the earth, on the French soil, and since he is or she is a human being, he has to enjoy such rights and they cannot be taken away. And according to the constitution, it was the duty of the government, that is the government will work as a watchman to see that every citizen can enjoy the natural rights. This is what the constitution contained, and this is how France became a constitutional monarchy. That's all we have in this video. In the next video we will see how monarchy was abolished and a French republic began, or a French republic came into existence. Thank you and have a nice day.